Welcome to Hidden Business Risk. I'm Dan Butler. Today, co-branded deals. Short version, two small vendors bundle services, an integration goes sideways, backups fail, customers lose data, and suddenly both companies are fielding refund requests and angry calls. Sounds dramatic? It happens more often than you think. Usually not from a catastrophic hack, but from small integration gaps and fuzzy contract language that lets risk spread. With me today are Jessica Mays, business attorney who turns legalese into plain English, and Eddie Klein, who runs an IT shop and has seen integrations fail in every industry. Jessica, Eddie, great to have you.
Thanks, Dan. Glad to be here. That case you just described, I've seen variants where nobody actually intended to leave customers exposed, but the deal terms and operational handoffs weren't aligned, so people feel blindsided, and that's when friendships between partners get tested.
And from the ops side, that small integration gap is often a missing acceptance gate or an unclear data ownership tag. Suddenly, you have two teams blaming each other while the customer sees one brand, and that one brand bears all the heat. I've had teams wake up to that in the middle of a Friday.
Good setup. Let's lay out the common failure modes in plain language so listeners can spot them in the wild. Briefly, mixed warranties, IP ambiguity, shared data pipelines, and unclear who pays when something breaks. Jessica, quick definitions. What do you see when a contract goes wrong?
Mixed warranties means each party promises different things to the customer without agreeing who owns the risk. IP ambiguity is when it's unclear who owns the integration code or the joint marketing creative. Shared data pipelines are the technical flows. If partner A moves customer data into partner B's system and something corrupts, who is responsible? And finally, who pays? Without clear flow-down language or indemnities, it becomes a negotiation after the damage is done.
Perfect. Now let's talk money and churn. Why these failures matter for revenue. I'll start with a quick triage approach I use. Quantify the likely refunds and churn, estimate brand damage, and prioritize bundles that touch high-value customers. Here's a rule of thumb. If a bundle touches your top 20% of revenue or your core product, treat it as high risk and act fast. Example, if an integration touches billing or backups, your refund exposure is immediate and measurable. If it only impacts a vanity report, it's lower priority.
Adding on, revenue triage should also include contractual exposure. Look at any promises to customers about uptime, backups, or liability caps. Those commitments create a legal floor for refunds and damages. If your contract says, "We guarantee backups" without a carve-out, the legal exposure can far exceed the immediate refund tally.
From ops, run a simple dependency map. Which partner owns which data flow? Who does the daily backups? And where are the acceptance gates? Even a one-page diagram changes the conversation from finger-pointing to, "We see the link, let's quarantine it." That visibility often cuts the potential blast radius by half before any negotiation starts.
Jessica, let's dig into contract levers without drowning in clauses. What are the fewest, highest impact pieces to include in the kit so teams can act this week?
Focus on three things: a responsibility matrix that names who owns what, limited targeted warranties, so you explicitly say what you do and don't promise, and simple flow-down indemnity language that makes clear who pays when a partner's component causes harm. For the matrix, it should list features, who supports them, who owns the data, and who handles escalation. For warranties, don't promise backups unless you can prove them. And for flow-down language, keep it plain. If partner A's action causes loss, partner A is responsible for direct remediation up to X. The kit will include short, editable snippets for each of these.
Listeners, we packaged those snippets into the co-brand safety kit. Exact wording, a responsibility matrix CSV, and a one-page acceptance checklist. Jessica, quick note about using templates. What's the guardrail?
Use them as a starting point, not a one-size-fits-all solution. For any material change to who pays or to warranties, run it past counsel. The templates are labeled with a one-paragraph legal caveat and suggested places to adapt based on industry and regulation.
Eddie, take us into the ops fixes, pragmatic containment patterns someone can apply this week.
3 practical moves. First, API boundary guards.
rate limits, validation, and clear error codes so you can detect and stop bad data early. Second, data ownership tags, metadata that says which partner originated a piece of data so you can roll back or rebuild selectively. Third, lightweight acceptance gates, simple pass-fail tests a partner must run before a joint rollout hits customers. None of these require heavy engineering. They can be scripted or run as manual checks for early pilots.
Nice. Let's prioritize fixes by likely dollar exposure, frequency, and ease of enforcement. Jessica, Eddie, if you could pick 2 fixes listeners should run this week, what are they?
First, ship the responsibility matrix to your partner and get a 1-paragraph sign-off. This is low friction and creates shared visibility. Second, add a narrow, explicit warranty carve-out in writing for any feature you can't operationally guarantee. Again, phrased as, we do X, we do not do Y, so expectations are realigned.
I'll pick API acceptance gates as my second recommendation. Make partners run a 5-test checklist on a staging environment. If it fails, you don't push to production. This is high impact for limiting blast radius and is relatively easy to enforce technically.
All right, here's a focused 30-day containment sprint you can run with one partner. Week 1, align expectations, share the responsibility matrix, and get sign-off. Week 2, run the acceptance gate on a staging environment for the top 3 customer impacting flows. Week 3, implement data tags and a rollback playbook for those flows. Week 4, bake the agreed limited warranties and flow-down language into a 1-page addendum and schedule a short executive sign-off. Success at Bait Birdie looks like a signed matrix, 1 successful staged rollout, and a rollback tested in a non-production scenario.
I'd only add 1 negotiation tip when you bring this up with partners. Frame it as mutual protection. Say, we want to move fast together, and these steps keep our customers safe so the partnership can scale. That keeps the tone collaborative instead of adversarial. We also included short negotiation scripts in the kit that model exactly that language.
And operationally, pilot changes with a small customer cohort first. If the pilot rolls well, expand. If not, you've limited exposure and you haven't burned 1,000 customers.
Quick scenarios. 3 industries. Exact next moves you can copy. 1. SaaS billing integration. Next move, add an acceptance gate for billing reconciliation and require data origin tags for invoices. 2. Co-branded backup service. Next move, require documented, tested restore procedures and limit any backup warranty to what you can prove. Roll out a staged restore test. 3. Joint marketing with shared creative assets. Next move, define IP ownership in the matrix and set a single point of contact for takedown or reputation issues. Each scenario maps back to the kit templates.
Before we close, listeners, remember the key mitigation. Start operationally first. Acceptance gates, tags, and a clear matrix are low-friction steps that build momentum toward the contract changes you may need later. And when you do edit contract terms, pilot the language with a partner who understands collaborative risk reduction.
Final operational tip, log everything during your first stage rollout. Errors, how they were handled, time to remediation. Those logs become bargaining chips in negotiations and help you tune the acceptance tests.
Great, let's wrap. We made the case. Co-branded offers boost reach, but create shared liability if you don't align responsibilities, tests, and limited warranties. The downloadable co-brand safety kit in the episode notes contains editable contract snippets, the responsibility matrix CSV, a 1-page acceptance checklist, and negotiation scripts you can adapt. Your 1 recommended first step, share the responsibility matrix with one partner this week and ask for a 1-paragraph sign-off. That single act surfaces mismatches and keeps deals moving without drama. Jessica, Eddie, thanks for this sharp, usable advice.
Thanks, Dan. Good luck out there. Start small, document everything, and involve counsel for material legal shifts.
Thanks. Keep the pilots tight and the acceptance gates tighter. Your future self will thank you.